You open your eyes and feel like you've been hit by a truck. The room is still. Your bed was warm, but your energy is already missing. You slept the hours, maybe even got to bed early, yet somehow you feel worse than before. How can a full night of sleep leave you so drained before the day even begins? The alarm hits. You slap it. 10 more minutes. Maybe 15. It feels harmless, even comforting. But every time you drift back into sleep and get yanked out again, your brain takes a hit. You think you're giving yourself more rest, but what you're really doing is slicing your morning into tiny, fragmented pieces of confusion. Each time you hit snooze, you re-enter the lightest stage of sleep, only to be jolted out of it again. That interruption messes with your brain's chemistry. Instead of waking gradually and naturally, you start the day in a fog of cortisol and grogginess. Your sleep cycle is not built to be interrupted this way, especially not multiple times in a row. It's not just about lost minutes. It's about disorientation. Your body doesn't know whether it should be asleep or awake. So you end up in a gray zone, tired but restless, awake but unmotivated. And that sets the tone for the rest of your day. You begin not with momentum, but with resistance. The solution isn't just discipline. It's understanding. If you want to feel alive in the morning, you need to get up with your first alarm. Or better yet, make your wake-up so gentle and structured that your body starts rising before the alarm even rings. Because energy isn't just about sleep. It's about how you exit it. Your eyes open, and almost instinctively, your hand reaches for the phone. Before you've even taken your first real breath of the day, your thumb is scrolling. Messages, emails, notifications, headlines. Your brain is flooded before it has any chance to orient itself. What you think is a harmless check-in is actually a full-on sensory ambush. You're not waking up gently. You're being hijacked. That first hour of your day is sacred. It's when your brain transitions from a state of deep rest to conscious engagement. But when the first thing you consume is other people's demands, global disasters, or social comparison, your nervous system gets shocked awake. Stress hormones spike, your mind starts racing, and your own thoughts get drowned in a flood of digital noise. You haven't even stood up yet, and already you're behind. Your phone promises connection, but in the morning, it often delivers chaos. Your eyes and mind are still sensitive. Your sense of self hasn't fully landed. And yet you're feeding it an artificial world before you've even looked outside or checked in with your own body. It's not about discipline or guilt. It's about energy, mental clarity, emotional space. And when you give that away too soon, there's very little left for yourself. If you want to feel alive in the morning, let your mind wake up on its own terms. Sit with your breath, drink water, stretch, open a window. Do anything that reminds your system you are a person first, not a productivity machine. Because every morning you let your phone speak before you do, a small piece of your energy gets quietly stolen. You roll out of bed and move through the house with the blinds still closed. Maybe the lights are dim. Maybe the sky outside is gray. But what you don't realize is that your body is still stuck in nighttime mode. Without natural light, your brain doesn't get the signal that it's time to fully wake up. Your melatonin keeps flowing, your alertness stays low, and your energy, even with caffeine, struggles to break the surface. Light is not just brightness. It's a biological command. Morning sunlight is like flipping the body's on switch. It tells your internal clock that it's a new day, resets your sleep-wake rhythm, and begins the cascade of hormonal shifts that energize you. Without it, your cortisol stays sluggish and your brain continues to drift. You stay in that uncomfortable state between sleep and wakefulness, not quite rested, not quite alive. And artificial light? It's not the same. You can blast overhead LEDs or screens, but they don't carry the spectrum your body truly responds to. The difference is subtle but massive. Your body craves sunlight in the morning the same way it craves food or water. And when it doesn't get it, it runs on low battery, confused, and undercharged, even if you think everything else in your routine is fine. So the next time you wake up and feel foggy, ask yourself, did you actually see the sky? Even 5 minutes outside can flip the entire internal script. Step into the light, literally. Open the window. Step onto a balcony. Let your eyes and skin remember it's daytime. Because if you start your morning in darkness, your body will carry that dimness with it all day. The coffee hits before anything else does. No water, no food. Just a jolt of caffeine and the illusion of energy. It feels productive, sharp, like you're getting ahead. But what you're really doing is borrowing from a tank that's already half empty. Caffeine doesn't create energy. It masks exhaustion. It tells your nervous system to speed up while your body is quietly begging you to slow down. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach, your cortisol spikes unnaturally. Your body, still adjusting to being awake, suddenly feels like it's in crisis mode. And if your breakfast, if you even eat one, is sugar-heavy, carb-loaded, or missing protein entirely, your energy roller coaster begins. A brief high, then a crash. Focus slips, hunger creeps in, irritability shows up at the worst time. And you wonder why, by 11 a.m., you already feel spent. Energy isn't just about sleep. It's about how you nourish yourself after it. A balanced breakfast is not trendy advice. It's fuel for your brain and body. When you start your day with fiber, protein, healthy fats, and hydration, you're not just eating. You're signaling safety. You're telling your system it has what it needs. That message shapes your mood, your focus, your ability to show up fully without collapsing halfway through. So next time you reach for that coffee first thing, pause. Drink a full glass of water. Eat something that sustains instead of spikes. Then sip your caffeine with intention, not desperation. Because when you front-load your day with stimulation instead of nourishment, you trade long-term clarity for short-term illusion. And that price adds up fast. You wake up, get dressed, sit down to eat, and then sit some more. Maybe in the car, maybe at a desk, maybe scrolling. Your body, designed for motion, begins the day frozen. And the longer you stay still, the more sluggish you feel. It is not laziness, it is biology. Without movement, your circulation slows, your metabolism stalls, and your brain fog rolls in like a heavy curtain. Morning movement does not have to mean a full-blown workout or a sweaty gym session. It can be a 5-minute stretch, a slow walk around the block, a few deep squats while your coffee brews. It is not about exercise. It is about activation. Your muscles need a signal. Your blood needs to flow. Your joints need to know the day has started. Because energy is not summoned. It is circulated. And there is more. Movement triggers the release of dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin, the very chemicals that regulate your mood and motivation. So when you skip it, you are not just staying physically still. You are mentally stuck too. That restless anxiety, that strange heaviness you feel as the morning drags on, often comes from a body that never got a proper wake-up call. So the next time your brain feels tired, consider this. Maybe your body is the one that needs to wake up. Start small. Breathe deeply. Reach toward the ceiling. Step outside if you can. Shake off the stillness. You are not meant to begin the day like a statue. You are meant to move, to circulate, to send a message to your entire system. We are alive. We are here, and we are ready. You open your eyes, and before your feet hit the floor, your mind is already racing. A flood of reminders, worries, and digital distractions hits you like a wave. Emails, alerts, to-do lists, and messages you never asked for start shouting for your attention. Before you've even had a sip of water or taken a breath outside, your brain is hijacked. And the worst part is, It feels normal. But this mental overload is not harmless. It's the first spark of burnout before the day even begins. Your mind was never meant to start the day in chaos. When your first thoughts are stress, urgency, and obligation, your nervous system reacts accordingly. Your heart rate increases, your cortisol spikes, and your focus fractures. You begin operating from a place of survival, not intention. And no matter how organized your planner is, your brain remains cluttered. The result? You feel exhausted before the real work even starts. Mental clutter is more than a nuisance. It's a silent energy thief. Every unprocessed task, unanswered message, and mental tab left open in your head is draining your cognitive fuel. You find yourself jumping between thoughts, forgetting what you were doing, and feeling like your brain is full even though the day has barely started. That heaviness in your head? That is not just stress. That is digital and emotional debris clouding your clarity. So here's the shift. Start your morning with intentional stillness. Before checking anything, sit with your thoughts. Write them down. Breathe through them. Organize your mind like you would a messy room. Choose what gets your attention. Because if you don't, everything and everyone else will. And your energy, the one thing you actually need to get through the day, will scatter before you ever leave the house. You are brushing your teeth while scrolling through emails, sipping coffee while replying to texts, half listening to a podcast while mentally building your to-do list. It feels efficient, productive even. But what you are actually doing is training your brain to splinter. You are trying to live 3 mornings at once, and in doing so, you are stealing the presence and clarity from all of them. Multitasking is not a flex. It is an energy leak dressed in hustle culture. The truth is, your brain was never built to do multiple tasks with full attention. Every time you switch from one thing to another, your cognitive system needs to reboot. That switching cost, those tiny moments of mental readjustment, stack up. And by the time you've finished your morning routine, you are mentally frayed and emotionally scattered. You did a lot, yet somehow you feel like you did nothing fully. That emptiness? That's your brain begging for one single, focused moment. Multitasking in the morning is especially dangerous because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. If your brain starts fragmented, it stays fragmented. Your focus is thin, your patience is shorter, and your sense of completion becomes non-existent. You chase a feeling of accomplishment that never quite arrives, and by midday, you are exhausted not because of how much you did, but because of how chaotically you did it. So slow down. Make breakfast without your phone. Drink your coffee while doing nothing else. Breathe between transitions. Let your mind settle into each moment. Presence is not a luxury. It is a tool for recovery. And the more you practice it in your mornings, the more energy you preserve for the life that happens after them. Most people start their day by checking the weather, the news, or their inbox. But almost no one pauses to check in with themselves. Before the rush, before the noise, you carry a storm inside. Unspoken stress, leftover sadness, anxiety you never named. And when you skip that check-in, those emotions don't disappear. They ride with you through the day, quietly pulling on your energy like invisible weights. You tell yourself you are just tired or just busy. But emotional weight is real, and untreated, it becomes chronic. It's why even good days feel off. Why small things irritate you more than they should. When you ignore your emotional state, your body still processes it in the background. Tension in your shoulders, a tight jaw, racing thoughts, those are unspoken truths screaming through your nervous system. Ignoring your inner world every morning is like stepping onto a stage without knowing your lines. You feel unprepared, disconnected, reactive. You find yourself snapping at others, zoning out, or wondering why you're on edge. But it's not that the day is hard. It's that your emotions were never acknowledged to begin with. The cost of that silence? Your energy, your clarity, your connection to the moment. So take 2 minutes. Ask yourself how you really feel. Write it down. Say it out loud. You don't have to fix it. You just have to face it. Emotional awareness is not weakness. It is energy management. When you name your feelings, you release their grip. When you check in with your heart, your mind can breathe again. And that breath is where real energy begins. Morning energy is not just about sleep or schedules. It is about alignment. It is about whether your body, mind, and emotions are even on speaking terms when the day begins. You can have the perfect mattress, blackout curtains, and a caffeine ritual down to a science, but if your inner world is chaos, your energy will leak before your feet touch the floor. This is the uncomfortable truth. Your fatigue is often emotional and psychological, not just physical. You are not broken because you are tired. You are exhausted because you have been carrying too much, too silently, for too long. Habits, expectations, screens, guilt, unresolved feelings all packed into the first hour of your day like bricks in a backpack. And somehow, we call that normal. But real energy, the kind that sustains, uplifts, and clears the fog, only comes when we stop pretending and start listening. You do not need a miracle morning. You need a gentle one that honors your limits, that allows space for slowness, that starts not with pressure, but with presence. A morning where you do not sprint into performance mode, but actually land in your own skin. Where energy is built, not burned. That kind of morning does not sell as well in self-help books, but it saves you daily. So this is your invitation. Not to hustle, not to optimize, but to wake up differently. To reclaim your first moments as sacred, not scheduled. To remember that energy is not found in doing more, but in doing what matters. And sometimes, what matters most is giving yourself permission to start soft, stay present, and protect the peace you were never meant to live without.